Hi guys, my name is Irene. Recently I made a decision that entirely changed my life. I was working as a project manager for the past 11 years. But then one day something just clicked in my brain and I realized I wasn't doing something that I was truly passionate about. But to tell you more about it, let's look at my life a little bit. As a little kid, I had two great passions. The first was drawing, the second was animals. I just remember spending countless hours in my room, just drawing anything really. I would draw landscapes, I would draw portraits, but most of all, of course, I would draw animals. But in the back of my mind, I always knew that I wanted to be a biologist. I just loved spending time in nature. And I wanted to learn everything about animals. I wanted to learn how they interacted with each other. I wanted to learn how they interacted with humans. So when it came the time to choose, I chose biology. While I was studying biology was great. I mean, I was living in Germany and I traveled all over the world to study animals. I would travel to Canada to study coyotes. I would travel to Costa Rica to study howler monkeys. But at some point I had to come back to Italy. And when I came back, I realized that being a wildlife biologist in Italy is not easy at all. Funds for research are really small. So the field is really small and competitive, and I was running out of money, so I had to find a job. And that's when the opportunity presented itself to become a project manager. I actually quite enjoyed being a project manager. I still got to travel quite a bit, and I met a lot of new interesting people from around the world. But at some point I realized that working long hours wasn't really giving me the chance to explore my passions. And I had completely stopped drawing at that point. So after 11 years on the job, I just decided to quit. And I found myself a part-time job, which now gives me the chance to spend all my free time doing what I really love. And this brings us to today's video.
A few moments later.
So let's grab a tablet and let's begin. Oh yes, the disclaimer. I actually don't know what I'm doing. I mean, I never received a formal training in art. So when it comes to art, I just basically wing it. Let's use a formal drawing as an example. This is a drawing that I did a couple of days ago. I showed this to a friend of mine and he was a bit confused about the lighting. He said, what's all this weird stuff going on in her face, all this shadow? And I tried to explain to him that the lighting comes from here and there are actually branches around. And then I just admitted it. I mean, I just copied a photo and the photo was in the forest. And when he saw the picture, he said, well, that actually makes sense. She's in the forest, so the lighting comes through the branches. Problem is, in your drawing, the forest just disappeared. That's one of my issues actually, because I just don't feel confident drawing backgrounds yet, so I just skipped it. But I mean, this is not the only thing that is bothering me with this painting. Look at her hair. Her hair is a mess. It actually looks like a bird's nest. And that's one of my other big issues. I cannot draw a hair. For the life of me, I cannot draw hair. This stops today, because from today I'm going to take the time to try to properly learn how to draw. So first things first, let's watch some tutorials. Okay, I just finished watching some tutorials and now I feel confident to try myself. Let's give it a shot. So the first things the tutorial suggested is to color block. So basically lay a single color all over her hair and then proceed from there. To color block, I picked this golden color, which is sort of like the mid-tone of her hair. So as I had unfortunately merged all the layers before, I need to bring up the old drawing to make sure that I cover all of her hair. There you go, all the hair is properly covered up and now it's time to begin to lay down the shadows. I'm using the reference image to help me pick out all the different colors of the shadows. There are different shades of brown, of gold, and also some black. Since there are so many, it's actually quite difficult to place them all, but I'm doing my best to lay them down as realistically as possible. Okay, I cannot say that it looks good at this point, but I'm trusting the process. So let's move forward and start adding some highlights and blend the shadows of the hair. I'm adding some shadows where the hairline begins to give it a little bit more contrast, and yeah, I think it looks better. Now that it starts looking a little bit more like hair, I'm just gonna blend slightly the edge of the hair with the background, just not to have such a hard edge around the painting. And now it's finally the time for details. I'm just gonna add some few strays here and there and further soften those edges. Okay, it's almost done, but I still feel like it's a little bit flat, so I would like to add some texture to it. So I'm gonna just grab a brush with a little bit more texture, like this one, and I'm gonna add some texture to the hair. And here's the final result. I mean, it's not perfect by any stretch of the imagination, but I think it's an improvement from the drawing before, right? At least their hair doesn't look like a bird's nest anymore, just a little bit maybe. But with practice, I'm confident that I can achieve better results. And there you go, the first step in my journey of becoming an artist. I hope you enjoyed the video and keep following me for more. There is so much more that I need to learn. If you liked the video, please leave me a like and subscribe, and see you on the next one.